Hi everyone, we are finding volume of pyramids today. Again, volume is how many cubic units, cubic inches, cubic centimeters, cubic feet it takes to fill a three-dimensional figure. Today we're looking at pyramids. Make sure you realize a pyramid just has one base and then all those edges come to a point up at the top. Now I want you to look at something here. I have a pyramid and I have a cube, and they have the same size base. They both have square bases, and they have the same height. And I want you to right now take a guess in your head. So let me just explain first. I'm gonna fill this pyramid with water, and I'm gonna dump the water into the cube, and I want to figure out how many of these pyramids it would take to fill the cube. Take a guess right now. How many? How do you think the volume of the pyramid compares to the volume of the cube? So let's see if I can not make a mess here. Fill this up once. Look at that, it doesn't even fill it up halfway yet. Let's fill it up again. Two. Do you think I could get one more in there? Oh, it's perfect. If I move even a hair, I'm going to spill it. 3 of these pyramids would fill up the cube. Let me go dump this before I make a mess. That tells you that the volume of the pyramid is a third of the volume of the cube, because it takes 3 of these to fill up the cube. So when we're talking about how to find the volume of a pyramid, the formula, write this down, the formula is going to be 1/3 of the length times the width times the height. Because you know volume of a cube, volume of any box is length times width times height. A pyramid is 1/3 of that cube, or 1/3 of that box. So let's do a few examples together. Here's a pyramid. Oops, you can't see that. Let's see if we can position my board better. Okay, so here's a pyramid. The base is a square, the sides of it are 3, and the height is 6. So if I want to find the volume of it, I'm going to do 1/3 times the length, which is 3, times the width, which is 3, times the height, which is 6. Now again, you can multiply those in any order you want, but I like to do the 3 times 3 times 6 first. 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 6 is 54. Now I just have to take 1/3 of 54. Now, if you have a calculator with a fraction button, you can certainly punch that in. But taking 1/3 of 54 is just the same as dividing 54 by 3. And I get the volume of this pyramid is 18 cubic inches. Let's do another one like that. Here's another pyramid. To find the volume, I'm going to do 1/3 times the length times the width times the height. So hopefully you can see those numbers. The length is 6. The width is 6. The height is 13. So I'm going to do 6 times 6 times 13, which is 468. And then I'm going to take 1/3 of 468, which you really could just do 468 divided by 3, which is 156 cubic centimeters. Now, what happens if you have a figure like this? That's not a figure we know how to find the volume of, but we could find the volume of the cube on the bottom, the volume of the pyramid on the top, And then hopefully you realize we would just add those together. So let's start with the cube first. Cubes are really easy. The volume of the cube is just going to be length times width times height. So you're going to do 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125 cubic centimeters. That's how many cubic centimeters would just fit in the bottom part, the cube. Now we can do the pyramid. And the pyramid, remember the volume is 1/3 times the length times the width times the height. Now, look at this pyramid. The length of it is 5, same as the length of the cube. The width of it is 5, the same as the width of the cube. The height of it is not 11. 11 is the height of the entire figure. The height of the pyramid is only 6 because the cube has a height of 5. 11 is the total height. Subtract those so you can find out what's left over for that top part, the pyramid. So this pyramid has a length of 5, a width of 5, and a height of 6. So 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 6 is 150. This is going to be 1/3 of 150, which is 50 cubic inches. Oh, cubic centimeters, excuse me. So now if I know it takes 125 cubic centimeters to fill the bottom part, the cube, and 50 cubic centimeters to fill the top part, which is the pyramid, I can just add those together. And 125 cubic centimeters plus 50 cubic centimeters is 175 cubic centimeters. That's the total volume. That's how many cubes it would take to fill the entire figure. Remember, for today's lesson, the important thing is the formula. Volume of a pyramid is 1/3 times the length times the width times the height. Make sure you have that written down. Good luck on today's work. Let me know if you need any help.